so amazing to have Dr. Roseann back. She is one of our favorite guests, and talking about dysregulation is the conversation everybody should be having right now because this is what's going on out in the world. And if you can't find the way to regulate yourself, you're going to just have a crappy time, have a crappy day, basically.
And we're talking about holidays right now, so it could be crappy for you depending on how your holiday goes. But the holidays are typically filled with chaos and with dysregulation, right? It just takes one little thing to throw you over the edge. And with the holidays, there's all kinds of things that can show up. So be it family members, lack of money, lack of
cooking disasters,
you name it, it's gonna happen.
Choose the lights and sets the tree on fire. Or no, that was the uncle with the cigar.
So
learn how to regulate from Dr.
So there are lots of little tips in there for everybody to get through the holidays. You gotta listen to this one.
Merry Christmas, y'all. We will see you in 2026 after this episode.
Yep.
The world is a lot right now. Are you feeling it? We all need new tools to help us walk through the chaos with grace, ease, and compassion for each other and for ourselves. In this podcast, you'll hear from parents, educators, and other experts who can bring perspective to the monumental job of parenting. It's time to level up and be warriors for our kids and our communities. This is the Warrior Parent Podcast. I'm Marci Mitchell.
And I'm Debbie DiManno. As parents, we understand that it really does take a village to raise our kids. We hope that this podcast serves to create and support that community for you. Join us as we discuss and practice our core tools, which are proven mind-body techniques that can be used by anyone to improve your life on a daily basis.
Welcome to our final podcast of the year, 2025. What a year it's been. Welcome back to the Warrior Parent Podcast. We're glad you're here. Today, we're so happy to have a prior guest who was fantastic and we've been wanting to have back, Roseann Capanna-Hodge. And we have been really looking forward to having her back. She is a leading expert in emotional and behavioral dysregulation with over 30 years of experience helping families transform chaos into calm. Known for connecting clinical science with everyday parenting, she specializes in nervous system dysregulation, the root cause of struggles like ADHD, anxiety, OCD, mood disorders, and PANS or PANDAS. And Roseann will tell us a little bit more about that. Through her Calms Dysregulation Protocol, best-selling books, and Top 1% podcast, Dr. Roseann gives parents the tools they need to support their children's brain, behavior, and emotional well-being without shame or guesswork. She's been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, Parents Magazine. She's on a mission to help families regulate first so healing and success can follow. So thank you so much for being here, Roseann.
Well, I'm always excited to be here and have a great conversation with you two ladies. And if this podcast is as good as the pre-conversation, stay tuned. So,
yeah. Oh my goodness. So Marci and I, we finished up the year, getting close to the end. They were like, "Oh, who are our favorites? Like we want to have our favorites back." And of course, Roseann was top of the list. And we are here for the holiday podcast. That's why I have the red and white going, which I don't normally wear. So
I like it.
I'm trying to spice it up and be a little holiday, but we're here talking about the holidays and maybe some of the not so happy part of the holidays, which is all the chaos and all the stress and all the dysregulation. And Roseann is an expert in all of that. And she maybe has a little surprise we can talk about afterwards. So Roseann, where do we start? Where do we begin?
Yeah, I mean,
holiday
let's
chaos
talk about the
thing?
good, the bad, and the ugly of the holidays, right?
Yes.
And just remind people that the nervous system doesn't know the difference between good and bad stress. So we can be super excited and happy to see, family. And we also can feel dread. Right. I know Oprah's talking a lot about estrangement, like it's something new. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
But a lot of families are estranged. A lot of people are working. It's not like my best friend lives in Australia. Do you know they shut down for a month?
What?
Like,
For the
yeah,
holiday?
for the holidays. So
Yeah.
even the grocery stores cut their hours.
Yeah.
Like they're open on Sunday from 10 to 5 or something like that. So she's like,
Yeah.
and then they have to change, they have just they can't get everything that they want.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she's rushing to get all these things, and they were like, they're fixing their house, and they're like, we have to order this and we have to get that, you know. I do the night of the seven fishes for Italian Americans, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
We have all the seafood. It's related to Jesus, right? And no, it's really related to that we like seafood and we want to have a lot of seafood. So
Yes, I
it was,
like that.
yeah. So it was really only supposed to be 6 of us. Now I'm probably going to have 30 people over.
Oh yeah. I know how that happens
Wow.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
and you know, it's on a Wednesday this week, you know, it's Christmas Eve, right? And so I have people that I'm seeing working the day before, you know, so
Mhm.
luckily I asked my kids if they would do all my food prep the day before, and they said they would. So that was
Wow.
nice,
That's
right?
huge.
I started to like get nervous. Like I was feeling like, what am I going to
Yeah.
do? How am I going to do this? And I don't see problems, I see solutions. I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I started to think, you can't really do massive prep on Sunday. You have to do your prep your day before. This is seafood, right?
Yes.
So, you know, I share these things because this is just real life, right? But
Yeah.
this is like a nice problem to have, right? Like
Yeah.
having a lot of
Yeah.
people over that you like,
Yeah.
but that's not always the way for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
today, you know, kids are struggling with a lot of mental health issues. We're at record numbers. We're at record numbers of adults on psychiatric medications, but also
Mhm.
record numbers of people struggling with anxiety and depression. And
Yeah.
so when your cup is full, right, your nervous system is activated. It's in that sympathetic dominant state, right?
Yep.
Then one little stressor can cause you to dysregulate, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so we have to start trying to teach people, which is what I do in my work and regulating first. We want you to take time before you dysregulate to give you more room in your cup.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I was just reading, I was telling Marcy, I was just reading one of your blogs. I don't know if anybody reads blogs anymore, but you had a good blog in there, and it was talking about screen time, right?
yeah,
And so now like everybody's on the screen time, you know, like Australia basically banned, you know, social media, like everybody's sort of blaming the
For
screen
kids, yeah.
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, adults, my husband with ADD, I have to, you know, put a limit on his screen time.
Debbie
Or
has banned
you or never
screen
have
time for her husband.
a conversation with him, right?
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, and I love what you said about it. Like it's not one-stop shopping. Like we want to just like, no, we're done with this and we're not doing it anymore. Well, that's not really realistic now, is it? Right? So, but you do talk about ways to manage people or kids who are dysregulated around screen time. And they're trying to come up with some protocols or whatever. But talk about that a little bit. And
Yeah. Do you know there's entire detox camps now cropping up
what?
to get their kids off devices? Yeah.
I'm not at all surprised by that.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I mean, you
Because
get
we know as parents, if you try to be the parent who says, okay, we're gonna go off for a day or a week, we know that is gonna be a shit show in your
yeah,
house.
there's
They're gonna
social
be
repercussions for
talk
it.
about
Yeah.
Yeah.
dysregulation before they can get to the place where they could be calmer. It's going to be
Yep.
so painful for the parents. So yeah,
Yeah.
send them away
You,
somewhere
well,
where
you know,
they do the dirty job.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is with devices, even for adults, right? We're not setting boundaries around it in advance. So we
Yes.
go on a device, or a kid goes on a device, and we think we can say, get off.
Mhm.
And then the kids on this getting the dopamine surges. Yeah.
Yes.
And they're going to
The
be like,
device
okay,
does not want
mommy.
you to
Yeah.
get off.
Yeah.
So it's fighting you.
No, and their nervous system is reacting to you because they
Yes.
are, it's craving that kind
Mhm.
of excitability, right?
Mhm.
So you're not going to reason with somebody who's dysregulated, and somehow people are thinking that they shouldn't be because they've been calm on their device. They know how to regulate themselves on their device. No, they're hooked into their device. It's different.
Yes.
So when you set it up in advance, right, you're clear about your rules. I know even in our house, we use technology to control the devices and the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi. And with this touch of a button, we can turn it right off. So, you
Wow.
know, how long are you clear about your boundaries? Are there
Yeah.
visual timers? Are there auditory timers? Are you using
Mhm.
gentle reminders? But the
Mm-hmm.
reality is, for adults and kids, we need downtime. Our nervous
Yes.
system needs
Yeah.
downtime.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy to, you know, like have your phone constantly in your hand. Like how many of us, right, have it in our
Yeah.
Yeah.
hand, you know?
Yeah.
Or
I
men in
am
their back
these
pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm these
Yeah.
days thinking about what am I going to wear today? Well, let me make sure is there a pocket for the phone because
Mm.
otherwise I'll lose
True.
it, part of it, but I want it right, like I want it right there with me. Those yoga
Yeah.
pants with phone pockets, like I'm living in those now, and it's comfort and it's holding the phone.
Yeah. It
Take
is
Wow.
care
true.
of
We
myself.
But
don't get, I have some old yoga pants without those.
yeah,
Marcy, I'm
I
not going to
I
get those again.
I'm gonna stick them inside. Watch me. I'll stick the phone in my underwear or something ridiculous.
You guys are terrible. I'm not that bad. I'm just saying, like straight up, I'm not that bad with my
I
phone.
turn mine
Yeah.
off. Right now my phone's in airplane mode.
Yeah.
I turn
Wow.
it completely off.
Yeah.
And I recommend people do that because they've done research, right? As
Yeah.
soon as you hear the buzzing, if you're
Oh, good. Yeah.
sleeping with a phone near you, your
Yeah.
brain is alerting to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't have a concentration problem, and I struggle with concentration if I hear the zzz, zzz, zzz.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Hmm.
you feel compelled,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
in an age where everyone expects you to be able to have access to you really
Yeah.
Yeah.
quick, I think that's terrible. And we're setting kids up, right? Kids
Yeah.
don't like to be bored anymore. And, you know,
Yeah.
we are constantly like, well, I got to keep him busy. I know people who say, like, oh, I got to keep my kid in like 6 sports, otherwise he's in my hair. And I'm like, okay, your kid needs downtime. They
Yeah.
need to know how to regulate themselves, and so
Yeah.
they know
Right.
what calm
Yeah.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
like what you talk about is like, let's just be conscious about the phone. Okay, so you're gonna go and you're gonna play a game on the phone or whatever, but you talk about those who are dysregulated, and maybe all of us could use this expertise, but to take a moment and calm yourself down before you just go grabbing the phone and doing the thing and playing the game, and then you talk about the transition sort of afterward, right? So
Yep.
there's a transition period. I That's all news to me. Like talk about that. Like
Yeah.
right, you need time
So,
to pull yourself off the charge of the phone, right?
yeah.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, when we think about our kids that struggle with learning the most, particularly our neurodivergent kids, you know, in all these decades of having worked with them, you know, they make you think on your feet, right? And you would say, what are optimal learning environments? How do we reset the nervous system, right? And
Yeah.
occupational therapists are great at doing this, by the way.
Yes.
But when you come off your device, right, when you're an adult, when you're a kid, you've been on your
Mhm.
computer, you've been sitting, you
Yeah.
have to actually take just a couple of minutes to reset that nervous system. So,
Mm.
what can you do as a sensory activity? You know, you definitely need to physically get up. Do you
Yes.
need to do 1 minute of bouncing? It's just standing in your and just bouncing, right? I
Yeah.
do a lot of Tai Chi and Asian exercises. I also
Mm.
uh, do other exercises. I mean, just even simple somatic exercise like, you know,
Yeah.
a butterfly tap,
Yep. Yep.
4-7-8 breath. But again, if you're sitting, you want to get up and move.
Yeah.
And so when we make this a habit, right? And if we're a parent, we're displaying this for our kids and we're saying,
Hmm.
hey, let's take a minute, let's do a couple jumping jacks or whatever. In my house, I'm like obsessed with these Asian liver cleansing exercises. So I'm always
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to do this with me? And the kids, they just crack up. And then they think they're
Yeah.
gonna beat me, which they usually do. But yeah, whatever. We have some fun, we have some playfulness, but it gives that nervous system a startle. And plot, like when you try to get off without doing some type of activity to reset. What I love about this as an activity for yourself, but even more so for your kids, is instead of getting in conflict with them to get off the device, you've been clear about your boundaries and you're creating a routine. So they become
Yes.
more aware of how they feel. And,
Yeah.
you know, as a mom of a kid who was prone to dysregulation and another kid who is like the most regulated kid, like came out regulated. I watch him get dysregulated on devices.
Yeah.
And he's a very polite kid and he can get crabby. And I am like, hey, no. And I let him have his minute. I let him get up. I let him move around. And then, I just have nice conversations. Like, we all get like that. It's not okay to be crabby. We all get like that. Let's go and do this right now. I don't need to shame him 100 times, but I do like to remind him, and I will get up and they see me doing these exercises. I literally do these kinds of exercises 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. And so they watch me do that. And it's good. So I'm role modeling it.
Love that.
I'm really getting the benefit, because I don't know how everybody here, we are now faced with being sitting and doing a lot of computer work. We are not a society of people doing a lot of labor outside and even having free time outside, right? And then I'm in a northern state. God bless the people who go walk when the high today is 31 degrees. That is not me.
Yes. I'm going to stay inside. Do some Tai Chi.
Do some Tai Chi.
I love, because, so this is, we're talking about phones, but this is really like what you're talking about applies to everything, because everybody out there is dysregulated. And I was saying to Debbie, I've been saying it a lot lately. I just keep seeing this in the world, this dysregulation in people, and how fundamental that is to what I think is going on everywhere. I grew up in a family with a very dysregulated father. Very dysregulated. And then what I grew up with was, he gets mad, he gets dysregulated, he's, the vein starts, whatever. And then it affects everybody in the house, right? Everyone's tiptoeing, people are, and if he had only learned to stop, to take a breath, to do some Tai Chi, to pause and say, because of course the stuff he would get upset about was nonsense, little whatever, it wasn't, my father just died. It was, who changed the TV, or where's the remote control, or who didn't scrape the peanut butter down in the jar? Like, it was stuff that a person should not
react to.
Their whole family into this place over. And I'm thinking, how do we teach men, especially because so many of them don't get this? Because then, of course, the women, the mother, the daughters, whatever, are trying to, oh, wait, I can help you. Let me just, okay, I'm going to talk to them for you. Like, we're doing all the emotional labor to keep the person calm and to try. And that's a toll on everybody.
There's so much to unpack there. And it's
really
about,
yes.
No. I love this conversation because I think that's really important. And I actually had a conversation with an adult today who is traumatized, and she found herself in a relationship, and I'm not sharing, I make composites. So I pull different pieces. So I'm not sharing all of her privacy. So she married a narcissist, right? And, and narcissists can be female, they can be male. This is just the example I'm sharing. So I don't want to make any male bashing by any means, because I love my husband. So, and he's a great partner for me. And I love my boys. I'm the mother of boys, and I need to make good men out in the world. So, I said to her, like, what were your parents like? How did they parent you? Right. And she basically told the same story you did, Marci. And that her father wasn't a bad person, but she had to always please him because they were afraid he was going to get mad and talk particularly rough to his mother. And so what I always try to say, just for people to hear, is that how we parent is exactly how our kids are going to parent. So if that doesn't motivate you to break these generational behaviors that pharma wants us to think are inherited psychiatric problems, they are not. Most of them are behaviors. And how can I say that? I've done over 10,000 brain maps.
Hey, we just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about something very exciting that Debbie and I and our team have been working on for literally years. And that is our Core Tools app, which is now available at the Google Play Store and at the Apple Store. And you can sign up for it now, and you will get access to all the tools we've been talking about on the podcast.
And if you're an early adopter of Core Tools, you can get a VIP price for $49 for a lifetime. That's
lifetime.
Right.
Buy it once, and we'll keep updating it too.
Yes, yes. So we're super excited about this. Go to Apple Store, go to Google Play, and purchase it now.
Core Tools, COUR, capital TOOLS.
Go get it.
And I don't see a lot of brains where they look the same as their parent. They're different. You see a lot of distress in brains. And so we have to step back, right? And the way that the body works in emotions, right, is it's foundational to the body. We feel sensations, then we have thoughts, then we have feelings. And so when we have somebody who's dysregulated and they're in a sympathetic dominant state, so relaxed state is parasympathetic, you're feeling good, you're feeling regulated, you have access to your frontal lobes, you can hear people, you can think, you can take action, you can pause, right? But instead, we're living in a world where people are just under fight, flight, or freeze. And they're so, you know, somebody ate the last box of Oreos, and the next thing you know, it's literally the kids are scared because right. And so what are we teaching, right? So for the people who are here, the adults that are listening, right? We're making regulation way too hard. And we're thinking you have to go to a massage.
Yes.
You have to do neurofeedback. You have to do that. You have to do that. It is the micro moments of calm that your nervous system says, oh, I know what calm is. I can be regulated. I can be in a parasympathetic state. I do call it the hot tub state because that's how you feel when you're uber relaxed, right?
Yes,
I
hot
love
tub
that.
state. That's
I
good.
Okay,
right?
we're holding on to that
Who
one.
doesn't go into a hot tub and they're like, oh, I feel so great. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what we need to do is shift this instead of like, you know, I'm not a bad you know, you're not a bad person, right? But everybody wants to do better than the generation before us. And I often talk about my mom and dad, Tony and Philomena. My mom, Philomena, in my next book, which comes out in September, is a big force in this book. And she was like one badass woman.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure of that.
We have Philomena scripts in my book. This is how Philomena would say it. This is how you can say it, right? Because my mom she didn't have no obligation to anybody but her kids and her family. She was nice to people, but do not cross her and do not mess with her kids. Okay. And so she was tough. Like my dad was the softie, right? But what do we want to do for ourselves, whether we have kids or not? We have grandkids. But regulating ourselves doesn't mean you have to be touchy-feely. It means that you're going to feel good within your body. You don't want to react to everything. Who wants to react to everything? Who wants to be pissed off?
It's exhausting.
All the time. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I've had people say, well, I'm just this way. I can't be any different. Baloney and cheese.
Yes.
Okay. So I have never had somebody who couldn't regulate, even if it was only 1% belief that they could. You have to have a sense of belief that you can do it. And it's not that hard. So if you're doing 2 minutes of regulation exercises, right? Different things throughout the day, everything from a 4-7-8 breath to humming, which disrupts the nervous system when you're
I love humming.
Right?
Yeah. Walking in nature, like heart brain, right? Which is super simple, right?
Super simple.
All the
and
tapping.
You're doing this prayer, right? Multiple times throughout the day. Your nervous system says, oh, I can be calm. And it starts moving down. And, you know, so then, you know, when you have a petty annoyance or you have a real annoyance, right? My husband is a very chill person. I had to marry a very chill person. I mean, I really did. Thank God I did. And he had like the biggest jerk boss you could ever imagine. He got fired, which is very rare in his company. He's in aerospace. And the guy used to say to people, you pet the dog and you whip the horse. Like your best workers, you're mean to them, and everybody else you're soft. He was terrible, terrible boss.
Yeah.
So he made such a bad culture. And I think this is important to talk about because a lot of people were working in places because they need to be paid. He made such a bad culture that almost all senior staff left, right?
Mm.
So finally the higher ups, right? So what do you do, right? So they couldn't handle stress, but my husband's like stress inoculated. Like
Yeah.
he's like, this will pass. He won't be
Yeah.
here. Like
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen. And it was for him, I think ultimately in the end, it was sad because he lost so many great buddies. But we all have things that maybe we have stressful situations that we can't escape, but we are in control of our mind and our body.
Yes.
And we have to take ownership for that. And if you are a
Absolutely.
parent, your kid did not ask to be born. So get your shit together
Yes.
and regulate. That's it.
It's
I
always
mean,
it's always an inside job.
it's an
Every
Yeah.
inside job.
episode, it's always an inside job.
Yeah, I love to say that, things are happening. Things are always going to be happening in the world. Bad boss, peanut butter not scraped, crazy this, crazy that, whatever, death, destruction. And so there's always stuff, small stuff, big stuff. And so you can be out there and you can be flowing with it all. You can be like on the outside wheel of a tire, just hanging on for dear life as you fling around, or you can turn to the center, go to the center where things are still, things are quiet, eye of the storm. And that's where you're doing your Tai Chi or you're
That's
taking
right.
a deep breath. For me, like if you can do nothing else, take a deep, slowing breath will slow your nervous system. And then now you're, like you said, your brain starts to become regulated. You're not in that fight or flight. You're starting to be able to be like, oh, this is not really a big deal. Or, oh, wow, look at that person. They're really dysregulated, but I don't have to participate in that. Like suddenly you can be logical. You can see things in perspective, because when you're out here, there's no perspective. Everything's a
Nope.
crisis. But when
Nope.
you're in here and you're breathing, you're giving yourself that space. Now you've got perspective, and now you can respond versus react from this place of intention and what are my values? What matters to me? Is this something I'm going to say no to? Does this not matter? Like all the things you have the capacity to do.
And that's what it is because, from a brain perspective, right, the nervous system, as I said earlier, is not going to allow you, if you're dysregulated, if you're in the red, if you're running
Yes.
hot, if you're
Mhm.
irritated, you don't have full control over
Mhm.
your executive functioning, your thinking, all of that. But when you pause and pull back, you can. And
Yes.
what I want to say, I tough talking where I'm like, look, get your stuff together, right? Everybody has that potential. And it doesn't have to be touchy-feely. You don't have to go back and talk about all the reasons why, your mom was hard on you or this, that. You can if you choose to do that. And I think
Mhm.
therapy is good, but it's a waste of time if you're not regulating first. And
Right.
so
That's
everybody
exactly.
can regulate though. And it starts small. It doesn't come from a pill. It doesn't come from some magic wand. It's an
Mhm.
inside job.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
and dedication to actually those things. Like I talk about, I want nervous system regulation to be part of your day, like brushing your teeth. Why do
Yes.
we brush
Yeah.
our teeth? To prevent cavities. Why do we regulate our nervous system? To prevent moments of anger, moments of
Yes.
dysregulation, things you regret,
Yes.
And
Yes.
again, if you're a parent, you are role modeling this for your kid. And more than
Yeah.
that, you're co-regulating. You
Yeah.
are their anchor, their nervous system anchor, their emotional anchor. They actually, the mirror neurons in their brain and body feed off of yours, and their
Mhm.
Yep.
behavior will mirror yours. You cannot calm a dysregulated kid if you are dysregulated. Does not mean
Absolutely.
perfect, but if you're living in this state and you're like, wow, I hate this, right? Just know it's really about your nervous system. And there are many ways that you can do this, and think of it in a micro level, right?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
have people who struggle with this, and I'm like, get your phone out. We're going to set up 5 timers that you put in whatever we decide. It's a 4-7-8 breath, or it's a butterfly tap, or it's a heart hug.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
have you do it so that you
Yeah.
don't forget. And
Yes.
it will add up, right? You can't just take all your money out the bank and think you're going to be able to continue to get it. You got to make some deposits too,
That's right.
Yes.
Right. Build some
Fill your cup.
practices.
Fill your cup.
Yes.
for
I
sure.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I feel regulated. How about you, Marci?
I feel so much better. Yes. And I love, love, love everything you say, Dr. Roseann. I want people to hear it. It's so important. It's so
Yeah,
important.
it is important. And, I'm out here like this is my Miss America platform is regulating first because we are
Yes.
falling into a hole. And we were talking before we started in the last few days of before this filming, the world is very, very heavy. There are multiple
Yes.
shootings,
Yeah.
and different things that are happening in the world. And I honestly feel like we're getting numb to these things. And
Yeah.
that is not a healthy thing. We have to start
Right.
thinking, everyone says mental health, but it's really about our nervous systems. Let's start there. We can attune
Yes.
them. We can get them into the place that we need, and then we can restore logic and people can
Yes.
make changes, right?
Yeah.
I also love what you said though, too, Marci, that we don't have to respond to everything. We can back away. We don't have to answer an email or a phone call when
Yep.
somebody's annoying us. When our kid is struggling, which kids should struggle at
Yeah.
times, and they'll,
Yes. It's part of their job.
and you want to help them find calm. You don't want to
Yeah.
resolve the calm for them. You want to teach them how to do it.
Yeah.
And of course, my next book, I'll be mapping that all out. But
Can't wait.
yeah, and we just, I feel like people are in a place where they're just done and overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
that makes me sad because we can build up that inner resilience. And
Yes.
I just want people to feel inspired to do that. And if there's one thing I would say is just pick one, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's the breath work. Maybe
Yeah.
it's, get on. I follow the Asian lady and her son Tai Chi with mom, pick some exercises from there and say, I'm going to do this. I literally do them all day. Like, it's so great. Everyone at work laughs at me. I'm like, do you mind if I do a couple of Tai Chi while we're talking?
Yeah.
And for me, I do it a lot for managing my hormones, keeping my energy
Yes.
regulated, because when our stress hormones go up, there's a lot of negative cascade in our body. We're more prone to illnesses and immune issues and whatnot. So instead of getting there, regulate yourself, build it into your day in micro moments of calm. And there isn't a person that can't do it.
Yeah. It's what you say, it's building a practice. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We teach all these tools. We have an app for tools. We do them all, and
They're all about self-regulation.
Yeah, it's not one-stop shopping, but the concept is to not get yourself to that place where you're so dysregulated that now you're searching and you're freaking out, right? The idea is to build the practices in, just like you said, I'm taking a breath here, I'm going outside there, whatever it is your thing.
Whatever it takes.
And then just build your own practice for life of how you're regulating your day.
Like, I keep telling everybody about these things, even in my personal life, because I'm like, hey, they'll be like, well, oh, will you share her channel with me, or will you do this? And then I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm doing this. And I make it part of my life, just like we talk about, like, if you're a guy and you're watching a sports show, and I have my Italian friends, we talk about cooking because we really do, and just incorporate it as part of your life. Like, oh, what do you find to be helpful? And I have so many kids that are young adults in particular, and male young adults who are so shut down that they don't even want to feel good because it almost makes them feel sick when they go into a parasympathetic state, because they just don't even believe it's possible for them to feel good within their body. And so what's great about the micro part of things, it does really steadily chip it out of a way that even if you have a trauma background, you can feel safe, right?
Yes.
And don't discount the importance of these things. These are incredibly powerful ways to reset the nervous system. And there isn't a person that can't find something that works for them. These are all free things I talk about. Yeah, I love my magnesium. Okay. Like, I take it all the time. I have my PMF. Okay. There are tools, but I'm really talking about free things that anybody can do, pretty much of any age. Even little kids can find ways to regulate themselves.
I love to watch little kids regulate. I love to see them stop, take that deep breath, or start the tapping, the bilateral tapping, the butterfly tapping. Yeah, that's more of that. Normalize Tai Chi in the office. Normalize doing whatever it takes to regulate yourself and not feeling awkward about it. Just do it. and let other people, let someone come to you and say, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And let you share this wonderful thing. And now that's how we're going to spread and create a regulated world.
Yeah, instead of having an office full of a bunch of irritated, stressed out people,
Right.
like it's like, oh, okay, let's do quick little run around on the outside of the office,
Yeah.
My
Yes.
girls in the office are like, we'll be back in 2 minutes. And literally in 2 minutes, they just go around the office twice on the outside and then they're back.
Yeah.
I
And
love
they're
it.
like, I'm feeling totally different. And I'm like, absolutely.
That's-
We're all sitting in front of a computer. We're not
Yeah.
designed for that, So those kind of patterns that you commit to make such a huge difference
Yeah.
in so many ways, not just for today, but for tomorrow as we age, and also the generations that come, beyond too. We're setting a great example.
So we have just
Yay.
given all the things for Christmas, all the free
Yeah.
things for the holidays that we can
And
give
for
away.
the new year,
Yes.
New year. This should be
2026.
regulation should be everybody's New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
please.
want to feel good in my own body. I don't have to have stress stick to me.
Yes.
That's it. Don't let the stress stick.
Yes.
Thank
Oh
you
my
so
God.
much, Dr. Roseann.
Dr. Rowe. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Tell us how people can find you. How can they hear your podcast, find your magnesium, all the great things that you're doing.
Well, thank you. So you can just go to drroseann.com, and that's DRROSEANN.com. The podcast is /podcast, and it's called Dysregulated Kids. My book is coming out in September of 2026, which I'll be back talking about it.
Yep.
Yes.
And I can't wait to share it because it's really just it's a parenting playbook. It's a playbook on how to do all these things and just make it really easy. We're making everything way too hard, people. I mean,
Agreed.
but
That is so true.
And so we have to take action. We can't just talk.
Yeah.
We got to move our coolie, as
Agreed.
Philomena would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm feeling
always
better.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hopefully everybody feels inspired for change in 2026.
Yes. You can do it.
Hey, warrior moms. As we started this podcast, we had determined that part of what we were going to do is to create a community. So we have decided to take it to another level, and we have started our own Facebook community in addition to the Warrior Parent Podcast, and it's called
From Chaos to Calm, a sanctuary for moms. Here's what it looks like. It's on Facebook right now. Please go and join it. And just to let you know, we're going to create our Blue Sky accounts right now. We're getting prepared as we watch this weird stuff go on in America. So we may be shifting the whole group to Blue Sky. Just be aware that we got you. You're going to start here. If this turns out to be not a safe place anymore on Facebook, then we will shift over. But what we're creating is a safe space where moms can show up and get information, get support, talk to each other about the things you're going through with your kids, the things you went through with your kids, maybe get some advice from moms, but also other experts. We're going to invite all of our guests and experts to join the group. I hope you will too. This is a place where you can show up and be seen and be heard and be safe. Mom's got you.
Nobody trusts anyone more than moms. So let's do this.
And now for your core mental health break. This is your opportunity to take a moment to support your mental wellness, your peace of mind, your own ease and grace. Take some time every day to support your mental health. You deserve it, and it matters.
Today we're going to have a journaling prompt. So I encourage you to get out a journal or a piece of paper or use your phone and write the following prompt. Today, if I could do whatever I wanted to do, I would. And then just let yourself write. And remember, you're not limiting yourself by money or time or location. Today, if I could do anything I wanted to do, I would. Enjoy.
Thanks for listening to the Warrior Parent Podcast, which is a production of our nonprofit, Cour Experience. who also creates and distributes Cour tools. You can find us at courexperience.org. Make sure you join us next week for another informative conversation to help you and your family show up mindfully, purposefully, and joyfully with each other and in your community.
Our Cour Tools platform consists of a number of proven tools and techniques that are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in spite of what's going on in your world. We want to thank Samuel Hale, LLC, for sponsoring this podcast. Technical and marketing support comes from Inspire Your Brand. Our podcast editor is Justin Beeden. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the producers, or the financial supporters. I'm Debbie DiManno.
And I'm Marci Mitchell. Thanks for listening. If you resonate with the idea of creating a community to help support kids and families, won't you join us by following the podcast and sharing this episode? You can even write a review. It truly does take a village, and we appreciate you.